Hello, today we are going to construct a 75-degree angle. There are many ways to do this, but today I'm going to show you one of them that I find pretty clever. So let's brainstorm some ideas first of how to create a 75-degree angle from constructions we already know. Probably one of the first constructions you learned was how to construct a perpendicular bisector of a line segment, thus creating a 90-degree angle. So we know how to create a 90-degree angle. We would also need to be able to create a 15-degree angle so that if we constructed both of them, we could, using angle subtraction, get a 75-degree angle. That is not the construction I'm going to do today. We know how to bisect an angle, so we could bisect the 90-degree angle to get a 45-degree angle. And we would need to add a 30-degree angle in order to create our 75-degree angle. Okay, so I can do a 45-degree angle, but how can I get a 30-degree angle? Another construction you probably learned early was how to construct an equilateral triangle, which has three 60-degree angles. And if we were to bisect one of those angles, we would get a 30-degree angle. And that's the first part of the construction I'm going to do. We could also do the 45-degree angle a different way, and I will show you that in the construction as well. So how about we get started? Let's begin by drawing in line segment AB with a straight edge. First, we're going to construct an equilateral triangle so that we have a 60-degree angle that we can bisect. So we'll begin by setting the compass point at A and setting the radius of the compass to the length of segment AB and drawing an arc. Without changing the radius of the compass, let's now move the compass to point B and draw a second arc so that it intersects the first arc. And we will call that point C. If we draw line segments AC and BC, we will have an equilateral triangle, and each of the interior angles will have a measure of 60 degrees. So this angle would be 60 degrees. But as you recall, I don't need an equilateral triangle, I just need a 60-degree angle so that I can bisect it and get two 30-degree angles. So we're going to next go ahead and bisect angle CAB. Now the first step in an angle bisector construction is to place the point of the compass at A and draw an arc that intersects both sides or rays of the angle that we want to bisect. And we already have that arc drawn in from our previous construction. So we can move to the second part where we place the compass on C and draw an arc across the interior of the angle. Now, again, without changing the radius of the compass, we're going to place the point of the compass at point B and draw an arc that intersects the one we just drew. And we will call that intersection point X. And now we can draw in ray AX, which is the angle bisector of angle CAB. Now the measure of angle CAB was 60 degrees. AX bisected that angle, so the measure of both of these angles, angle CAX and angle XAB, are 30 degrees. What we could do next is create a line perpendicular to segment AB and then bisect that angle to get a 45-degree angle. But what I'd like to do is create an isosceles right triangle instead. And then the base angles of that isosceles triangle will be 45 degrees. So let's do that instead. We're going to start this part of the construction by creating the perpendicular bisector of segment AB, so I can get a 90-degree angle. Now, as you recall, point C is equidistant from both A and B, which means it lies on the perpendicular bisector of the segment AB. So I need to construct a second point below so that I can create the perpendicular bisector. So I'm going to place the compass on point A and adjust it so that it's more than half of AB. And I am going to draw an arc below the segment. And without changing the radius, I'm going to place the point of the compass on B and draw another arc so that it intersects the previous one we just drew. I am going to label the intersection point Y. And now I'm going to use a straight edge and draw in line CY. CY is the perpendicular bisector of AB. Now I'm mostly interested in this right angle right here. But I am going to label this point the midpoint of AB, since this was a bisector, Z, just for notation. The last step I need to complete my construction of a 75-degree angle is to get the 45-degree angle. And I want to do that by creating an isosceles right triangle, which has two congruent sides. One of the congruent sides I'm going to use is AZ. So I'm going to copy segment AZ onto segment ZY. And I will call this intersection point W. And I know that AZ is congruent to ZW because I copied that segment. And now if I connect, if I draw a line, or a ray I'm going to draw, through points AW, I have an isosceles right triangle, AZW, and the two base angles are both 45 degrees. Finally, I'm going to highlight angle XAB AW, angle XAW, which has a measure of 75 degrees. I hope you enjoyed this construction, and I hope that you try other ways or try other ideas of how you could construct a 75-degree angle.